stay here and be in my movie, or you want to go do something else? Huh? What do you want to do? Here, say hi on the video. Show them how cute you are. No. Why don't you go lay down? Yeah? Okay. Go lay down. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and this is my Flosstube channel, Stitching and Wishing. Hold on one sec. Where I occasionally will make a video to show you what counted cross stitch I have been working on. Sometimes some other projects. I forgot to bring those in. That's okay. Maybe I'll attach a little video at the end showing you some of the other activities that I've been up to. At the very least, I will insert some pictures because over the last few weeks, I've been kind of doing some non-cross stitch but still crafty endeavors. Maybe we should start again. Got a little bit distracted with little dog coming up to visit. It is Saturday, February 22nd or 23rd. One of these days I'll remember to look at the calendar before I hit play. But it's February, it's towards the end of February. I thought I'd come on and do a quick update while the house is quiet. The dogs, except for Little, are taking a nap. And there's nobody else here, at least for a few more hours. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I'm a caregiver for my mother. She has been visiting my sister since November, but she is coming back today. I have mixed feelings about it because, you know, it's my mother and I'd like to see her and spend time with her, of course, but it's also a lot of work. So it's been a nice break, but I have to leave in a couple hours and go pick her up at the airport. And she'll be back with me probably, I don't know that she'll go back to my sister's next year or later this year, so she's probably with me for a while. But regardless, welcome back to my channel. Welcome all the new subscribers. My last video was a plans video, and before that was my 2024 finishes. And those kind of videos always seem to bring in some new subscribers. People find my videos for the first time. So welcome if you're new, and if you're one of my returners, I'm so happy to have you back. It still blows my mind that people want to watch me, and I appreciate every single one of you. So my last video was at the end of the end of December, and it was my plans for 2024. I would say that I am mostly sticking to those plans. I haven't made as much progress on things as I was hoping for, but I've pretty much stayed on script, maybe altered away a little bit, but nothing significant. A couple new things caught my eye, of course, and they needed to be started and worked on. But really, I didn't feel like I had a whole lot to show because I've mostly been kind of sticking to the same 2 or 3 projects. I haven't had a lot of stitching time, but I just, like, even the 1st of February, I wanted to do a new start. I started it, I'll show you in a minute. I worked on it for maybe an hour. And then I just wanted to go back to the pieces that were like calling to me. And so I've made pretty good progress on those. I'm pretty happy with the progress. And let's just show you. I do have a few finishes. So the 1st of January, I started my blessing sampler. My blessing sampler is from Hands Across the Sea. It was in her 2025 calendar, so I don't have a photo of it, and I don't know what it's called. I want to say it's Louisa something, but I changed the name on mine, and on my spreadsheet I just have it as blessing sampler. So here it is. this was pretty much my January focus. So I told you in my last video that I was getting ready to go on vacation, and we did. We went on a 9-day Southern Caribbean cruise, and this project went with me, and it's primarily what I worked on that entire time. I didn't do a lot of stitching. I took a lot thinking, you know, I've got 9 days on a boat where I'm not working. I can get a lot of stitching done. I didn't. Even the days we were at sea, I'd stitch a little bit, but it was mostly just, you know, relaxing and enjoying the vacation, and I'm not gonna be mad about it. Sure, I wish I had stitched some more, but whatever. I'm happy with it. And I did finish my blessing sampler in January. I did change the name down here. I like to put my name on my samplers, and if you'll see, I should have moved my first name. I did my last name first because it's longer and I wasn't sure how much space I'd have. And I should have spaced this a little better. And I thought about ripping it out and then decided it wasn't worth it. And that I was okay with it being a little wonky. Most of my pieces are a little wonky. This one was stitched on 40 count white Verdal using a Vicki Clayton silk. It's one of her OMG reds. I don't remember the exact color. If you really need to know, ask me in the comments and I'll tell you. But that's my blessing sampler. I have also continued to work on the Primrose Cottage monthly minis. So I started these back on the 1st of July 2024. And so since my last video, I have finished January. So this is stitched on 32 count vintage country mocha using the called for DMC. Barley. Sorry. And I have also finished February. And this one is also stitched on 32 count vintage country mocha. I'm stitching all of mine on that. But this one I used Classic Colorworks, and then the white is a Gentle Arch chalk, I believe. I just pulled some floss from my stash since it was only 3 colors, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And then last night, I finished my travel piece. So I like to have a small that kind of goes everywhere with me. When I go to work, it's in my computer bag, and sometimes most times really, I have time during my lunch break to pull it out and put a few stitches in it. Or if I have one of those long meetings or trainings, sometimes I'm able to pull it out. But my travel project for February was from Lottie Da. This is Anne Rudolph. I started this a long time ago, and it got put away and just lingered. It was on my 24 and 2024 list, which I'm still working off that list. I didn't do a new one, and so this is another finish from that list. Here it is. So one thing I discovered when I pulled this out again is that I had miscounted on the deer at the top. And one of the deers, it was a stitch too low. And so when I did the second deer, they didn't match up. And I was like, well, do I want to frog it all, or do I just want to adjust the second one to match the first? And clearly I chose not to frog because I hate frogging. And I will avoid it at all costs. And so I just adjusted the second deer, and I think he's fine. This is stitched on 40 count color and cotton shiplap, and I used a Victoria Motto Sea Monster and then Roxy Floss Follow Red for Rudolph. So I love this Sea Monster color, and I wish I had more of it, but I don't think that Victoria Motto is dying anymore. So I don't think she's doing her fabrics or her floss anymore. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong and you know differently, will you make a comment? Because I do love her floss, and I love that you get, I forget how many, you get extra. It's like 12 yards or something. 12 yards is probably not right. 6 yards, I don't know. You get more than what you'd get on a DMC skein. And I really like her floss, and I'm sad that I don't have more of it. I have a good little bit in my stash, but not a ton. But I like that sea monster, and I like that I have a finish. So there are, if you can look, if you can see in the pattern, like seeing the deer, the little, what are those, crosses in the deer, they do use a white, but I decided I didn't need that and just left the white out, and I did make Rudolph red. But I'm going to turn that into a little pin pillow eventually. And happy to have another finish. So those are my finishes. Let's move on to some whips. So I don't have that many whips. I have been pretty good about sticking to the ones that are calling my name, but I also am making some progress. I worked a little bit on the floral motif sampler. My goal was to have this done by the 1st of May, and I don't know that I'm gonna make that goal, but I'm also not going to beat myself up over it because it's okay. There's no rules, and it's okay if it's not done. I do want to get it done this year, and I think that that's completely doable. So here is where I am. I'm almost done with the second page. So there's 6 pages in floral motif, and I have finished 1 and probably 2/3. This is 36 count mystery linen. I don't know what the color is. And I'm using the Vicky Clayton thread pack for floral motif. I'm stitching it 1/2, and I love it. So it's definitely one that's not going to go away until it's done. So we're going to keep working on it. My second whip was my Journey piece. So Journey is, I belong to the Sampler Guild of Georgia. That's right, the Sampler Guild of Georgia. And they do what they call the Journey program, and basically you commit to stitching a project throughout the year and having it done by early October. And my Journey project this year is Matter in Hand by Jeanette Douglas. I got this pattern and started it right after StitchCon last year. I'm stitching it with Pam and Levi, who Levi has a Flosstube. Pam does too, but she hasn't filmed a video in a long time. Pam is Wilson 3D Design on Flosstube, and Levi is it O Stitch Please? Or O Stitch Happens, something like that on Flosstube. His videos, he's got 2 or 3 out now, and I am finding them highly enjoyable. It's completely his personality. His personality is coming through. They're a little bit chaotic and a little bit all over the place, and I find it highly entertaining. So we are stitching this together, and he is way far ahead. I don't know where Pam's at, but I basically set a goal to try to get this done by the time we go back to StitchCon. So I'm doing 1 row. So February, March, April, and I should have it done in May. So February's goal was to finish the top down to the words. And here is where I am. I'm almost there. I've almost met my goal. So I just have, I can't get it to stay. Oops, that's upside down. I just have really this word over here, and then I'm gonna start to work my way down into the next row. But I pulled this out this week, and I hadn't even finished this first motif. So all of that, these 3 motifs were done in the last 2 weeks, I guess. Working on this for about an hour or 2 every evening. So I'm stitching mine on 46 count Atomic Ranch Embellish, and I'm also using the Vicki Clayton silk pack on this. I was gonna bring the silks over and show you my little container. I'll do that too. Maybe I'll pause and go grab that so I can show you. Okay, but that's matter in hand. Let me pause and go grab the container I got for my silks. Okay, I'm back and I forgot to finish. So this is a little snowman. It's a freebie from Hands On Design. It is available in her Facebook group. So I don't know if she's got it on her website, but it's in the Facebook group. But this was a challenge from my Sampler Guild. They've been doing some challenge projects, and January's challenge was they gave everybody a copy of this pattern, and the challenge was to stitch it and finish it into something other than an ornament. So I attempted to do a little stand up. I wanted it to be shaped like a snow globe and it didn't quite make it, but nevertheless, I think it's cute. I stitched it on 25 count dusk. I think it's just a Wetchelt linen, using 3 strands of DMC. And then my friend Sherry gifted me the little button. I just had this sparkly snowflake fabric in my stash, so I used it to finish it and just made it into a little stand-up. So I did have another finish. But back to my silks. So the 103s, 100.3 silks come on these spools. I think you all know that. Where did my board go? Well, they are a little bit easier to manage, and I know that I wanted to get those spool holders the Hands On Heartstring Samplery's husband is making, but they were a little bit pricey and it wasn't something that I could justify. I know that they're available. I think they're available anyway through the attic, and I don't know if you can get them anywhere else. But my friend Teresa told me about the Gutterman boxes, which are just these plastic, sorry, you can get a reflection off of it. These plastic spool holders that you can get on Amazon, and they're like less than $10, I think, maybe $12. But they are perfect at holding these, and they do have a little lid. And I think you can fit like 20 or 24 spools in it. And so they are great for the 103s. And I have a couple of those for the projects that have the 103 silks. But Vicki Clayton silks come on these little spools. And I had ordered a spool holder, like little bobbins, I guess. And I ordered a bobbin holder from Amazon, and they didn't fit in it very well. Like, they fit and they were okay, but I couldn't get the lid closed and it was annoying me. And so a couple weeks ago, I went looking for something else that might work for the Vicki Claytons, and I found this. So I got it off Amazon. It was a 4-pack, and it was under $12 for 4 of them. And they hold the Vicki Clayton silks perfectly inside. They don't fall out, except the label's falling off that one spool, but I put them in order, and there's enough space that you can still read the labels. They don't fall out, and this goes in my project bag. It doesn't take up that much room, and it's perfect for them, I think. I've used 3 of them in 3 different projects, and I think they're great. So I can link them below if you're interested, if you're using the Vicky Claytons, because look, they don't fall, and they've got a little bit of, they're like a silicone, but it's a harder silicone, so it's not as flimsy as when I ordered them. I was like, I wonder if those are going to be too flimsy, but they're not. They're perfect. So 4-pack for like $12, and they hold the Vicky Clayton silks wonderfully. Okay, moving on. I started this in early February. It caught my eye, and I don't know why I was so drawn to it, but I was. This is the Scarlet House We Are the Sampler Makers. I think this was a project for one of the summer schools at the attic, but it's available now. I got it on 1-2-3 Stitch. I'm stitching it on the called for, which is 36 count mocha from Weeks Dye Works, and I'm using all the called for Weeks Dye Works threads. And let me show you where I am, because I'm really close to a finish on this one. So I have finished all the letters, and so all I have left are these couple motifs over here. Really, I guess just the birds and these couple of bases. And then this one will be a finish. So here's the sampler maker from the Scarlet House. Let me read it to you, because I always want to know what they say. So this says, plying our needle on linen with thread, our work will live on long after we're dead. Our gentle art gives us such pleasure, the stitchers before us we truly do treasure, for we are the sampler makers. I thought it was adorable. I did buy the finishing board. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. I didn't look too closely at the stitch count. I mean, the stitch count is, where does it say? 167 by 106. So I thought it was going to be a small pillow, but a small board, but it's pretty good sized. But I'm almost done with that one. And that will be, I don't think I want to say what it's for? So my Sampler Guild has a retreat next month. It is restricted to just guild members, so not everybody is able to come to it. I guess you can join the guild and come next year. I mean, the cutoff was months ago, so you're not going to be able to come. But anyway, they're having a retreat next month up in North Georgia. And instead of doing a smalls exchange, what we're going to be exchanging kits. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to stitch up a project, finish it, like fully finish it, and then your exchange is to kind of re-kit that project. You're supposed to buy a new pattern, which I did. I bought that pattern twice. I bought all the called for threads, and then I had a fat quarter of linen, and so I just cut it in half, and I'm using half for me and half will go in to the exchange. And then I bought an extra finishing board. So like I said, it's bigger than what I would typically use for a smalls exchange, but since I already bought it before I realized how big it was, I was like, whatever, that'll be my exchange. But that one will hopefully be done in the next week or so. And then really my final like active whip that I've been working on is the Maker and Mender from With a Needle and Thread. This was also on my 24 and 24 list, and I really wanted to get it done this year. I've made this my Sunday stitches. So Sundays I typically have more stitch time available than during the rest of the week. Sundays tend to be a little bit quiet and I can get 2 or 3 hours of solid stitching in. And so Maker and Mender has been my Sunday stitch piece in February, and this is where I am. So when I showed this last time, I had this bowl and I think part of this motif done. So I finished the entire top row, and then last weekend I did all the letters. So all that's left are these motifs down here at the bottom, and I guess this vine and this bird at the end of the letters. But this has been going pretty quick and I've been getting a lot of progress on it, and so I think that in the next 2 or 3 weeks this should be a finish. So I love it. I think it's beautiful. I've enjoyed stitching those letters. I enjoyed every single one. So, and the motifs are small, and so each one feels like a little accomplishment. But I love this piece and I can't wait to get it done. I'm stitching this on 36 count boardwalk from Color and Cotton, which is one of my favorite colors. I ordered more. She opened up some of her linen and Ada to pre-order. So if you want to try, or if you love Color and Cotton, you should definitely follow her Instagram. She might be or her Facebook. She might be announcing it in her newsletter. Sign up for all 3. Would be my advice. But she's been periodically opening up pre-order for some of her linens, and so I got some more boardwalk and 1 or 2 other colors. But I love Color and Cotton, and I want to keep adding it to my stash, even though I really don't need any additional fabric. So those have been my focus whips, but I did start a couple of things. The 1st of February, I really wanted to start a lot of things, but I couldn't get into them. I just wanted to keep going back to those whips, and I'm not going to fight it. If I'm in the mood to work on something, I'm going to work on it. Not force new starts. So one of the things I did start was Anna Funk from Erica Michaels. I loved this sampler and I do want to stitch it this year. So I'm stitching this on 40 count Color and Cotton Buttermilk using the called for threads, which are a mix of Weeks and Classic Colorworks, just cottons. But that's my little start on Anna Funk. So I do want to get back to her because I do think she's a beautiful sampler. I love a bright colored sampler. I'm a sucker for them. I also picked up the 2025 Collector's Heart from Heart and Hand. I love this one. I picked up, I don't know if I have all of her Collector's Hearts, but I have a bunch of them in my stash. And this one I didn't want to wait on. I wanted to start it. So I've kitted it with all the called for threads. The pattern comes with linen, which is 32 count Mushroom Belfast. And here is my little start on it. It's a really interesting color scheme that she has for it. But it's lovely. It's widely available, so everyone should pick it up. Even if you don't use this linen. I know, who's the Flosstuber that just finished it? Was it Solly Stitches? Just finished that one. But I think she switched out her linen. I don't have a lot of haul, but the haul that I have were big, as in pricey. And it's all mostly Hands Across the Sea. The first bit that I have is Jessie Chandler. This is an exclusive with the Attic Needlework right now. I fell in love with it. It took me forever to decide which version to buy, because you can do, this is the back side, so the bright version, and this is the more muted front side. I love them both, but my eye was immediately drawn to the bright colors. I just said I love a bright colored sampler, so I ordered the 103 silks for the bright version. I got it as a kit, so it came with, I got 40 count mason linen, and I did start it. I just did a little small start on it, but it's definitely one that I would also like to get some more stitches in this year. Here's the silks for it. I don't know how well you can see these. See how bright and wonderful they are though? I'll just kind of turn it around. You won't see the ones in the middle, but that's okay. Sorry for the little shaking. But I love Jessie Chandler. Okay, so I think those are my whips. So some plans. So when I finished Maker and Mender, I was like, well, because this is where my mind works. I'm like, I've got 2 or 3 weeks left on it. It's not done yet. Excuse me. But I'm like, what do I want my next Sunday stitch to be? And so I started thinking about some of the whips that I have. And I think that I want my next Sunday stitch to be another with a needle. This is the Needleworker sampler. This was my 2024 New Year, New Start. I had a New Year, New Start this year. It was Teresa Kogut's and God Saw, which I only put like 12 stitches in, so it's okay that I don't show you. But this was my start last year, and I worked on it a little bit, but not enough. And so it's gonna be my Sunday stitch. I've got threads and a needle hanging off of it. Here's where it is. This is a 46 count. Oh, I didn't write it down. It's 46 count, probably Atomic Ranch. And I know that was just pulling floss from my stash. So it's a mix of different cottons. But I love this and really would like to go back to it. Sorry for the hanging threads, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I will maybe take this needle off of here though. So it probably doesn't need to be stored with a needle. Okay, and then because I finished my travel stitch, which was the Anne Rudolph, I need another project to go into my purse to travel with me. And I decided that I want that to be Luminous Fiber Arts Gathering Stitches. So if you watched my plans video, my plans are to stitch all of these gatherings this year. And so this one's gonna be my first. I do have a small start on it. I don't know what this fabric is. It's a 40. It says the model was stitched on 32 count Sparrow, but I don't think that's Sparrow. It seems a little dark for Sparrow, so I don't know what this is. But I am using the called for silk, which is Belsois Sister Scarlet. So I want that to be my next travel piece, but the new market releases are out. I went over my pre-order budget. So I was gonna be really good this year. Like, I set a budget for myself for market, and I was gonna only limit myself to like 4 or 5 new things. And I was doing really well when the pre-orders first opened up and there weren't very many designers, I would see things and I'd be like, oh, that's cute, but I don't need it right now. I can get it later. That my stash is already overflowing. I don't need it. But then as more and more designers started to release things, my cart and my wish list got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I have now pre-ordered way too many things. But it's fine. It's all gonna be fine. It's just stash. It's stash enhancement. It'll be fine. I will show you all of that in my next video. I assume my pre-order will be in by then. But one of the things that's coming out is from Hands On Design. It's her Ladybug Picnic, which is adorable, and I could wait on it, but I went ahead and pre-ordered it. And last year she released the Botanical Bee, which I started, and for whatever reason it sat in stash. Or sat in my whip pile, and so I really want to get this done before the ladybug shows up on my doorstep. So over the next couple of weeks, this is going to be my travel project. And with Mom coming back into town, it'll also be taking her to doctor's appointments project. I am stitching it on, I don't know what this is. It's a 32 count. I think it's a color and cotton. For a while I was in the color and cotton fabric of the month club, getting 32 count, and so I imagine this was a piece of that. I'm using silks from my stash. This is how I have them. So it's a mix of NPIs. There's some dinky dyes in here. There's some almond M&Ms silk that I picked up at StitchCon a couple years ago, which I'll be honest isn't my favorite silk. I want it to be my favorite silk, but the coloring on it is not great. If you're gonna buy silk, there's better options. Maybe I shouldn't say that. My opinion is that if you're gonna spend the money on silk, to get something you like. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I am gonna use it up, and these small little projects like this are perfect for just a few strands of silk. Okay, so that's plans, whips, finishes, rambling. I have just a little bit of haul because I knew Market was coming. I knew that I was going to want to order for Market, and I've really been trying to be pretty good about ordering things. I'm saying that. It's not true. I've been better about not just ordering, impulse buying everything. Let's go there with that. I did join the Liz Matthews Patreon for a bit. I'm taking a pause from that at the moment, but her December release was Delivering Christmas, and I love this design. So that's on my, I would like to stitch it this year. And another one that I saw on Instagram, one of my friends on Instagram posted her finish of this, was Little Lamb by Kathy Barrick. Her finish was so cute, and I'm like, I need that. So I went and found just the PDF off Kathy Barrick's page. I love the little goose. I guess it's a swan, a horse, and a goat pulling his sled, and the reindeer are all down on the ground. It's cute, and I wanted it. I did get a new project bag. My friend Lisa is making project bags. She has an Etsy shop, which is 2 old lady bags. Her and her mom are making them. Let's see if this will show up. Her little bag tags, 2 old lady bags. My friend Pam has a 3D printing business, and so she's printing those for Lisa. But here's the bag I bought. Isn't it pretty? So she's on Etsy. Everybody should go buy her bags, 2 old lady bags on Etsy. And the back is just a blue. It's got some dog hair on it because I live with dogs. My other haul, my big piece of haul, I treated myself to the Hands Across the Seas All Things Bright and Beautiful box. So every time I see somebody stitch something from one of the red boxes, I am envious and I want them. I want everything that she's released in those boxes. And so I had the opportunity. I saw that she was releasing this right before I went on my cruise. So on that trip, I tried to be really kind of intentional in things that I purchased. And really, I did pretty good. So we went to 5 ports. And the only thing that I bought in port were ornaments for my Christmas tree. Besides, you know, I don't even think we ate in any of the ports. No. We got some drinks, but that's really all the money we spent in ports. Scott got some souvenirs for his friends, but I didn't buy gifts. I didn't buy any of the little souvenirs because I knew that this red box was coming, and so I was trying to conserve some funds for it. It is a little bit pricey, and I know it's not in everyone's price range, but if you have the opportunity to buy one of her red boxes, I can attest that everything in this box I love. I am going to show it, some of it. So I filmed an unboxing video, which I'm going to put at the end. I wasn't sure. I went ahead and filmed it just to capture my reaction to opening the box. I wasn't sure I could share it on my Flosstube, but Nicola, Hands Across the Sea, has put up a video where she showed everything that was in the box and the models, and I don't know, did she show the originals? I don't know, but she showed everything that's in this box. So I am not spoiling anything, but I am going to put it there at the end. So if you happen to have ordered this and you don't want to be spoiled, you don't have to watch it. But I am going to show you right now my favorite pattern from the box, because I did kit this up and I did a small start on it. And my favorite pattern is Jessie Ormston 1887. When I saw this in the box, so actually Nicola, when she was stitching the model for this, posted it on her Instagram, and I saw it on her Instagram and immediately was like, man, as soon as she releases that pattern, I need it. So, excuse me, it was in the box, and so I kitted it up. It is stitched on 40 count Fox and Rabbit Black Swan. So I tracked down a piece of Black Swan. I got mine from Kitten Stitcher, and I did a small start on it. I'll be honest, 40 count black felt a little bit outside my wheelhouse, but it's doable. I don't think my stitches look great, but I also don't think they look bad. So I think I'm gonna keep going because I absolutely love the model. I kitted it with 103 silks. Those are for something else. Here they are. Let me do this without too much glare. They are bright and beautiful, just like the box advertised. Look at those. It's my favorite. So I will post at the end my unboxing video showing you everything else that's in this box. But of course, if you would rather go watch Nicola show you everything in the box, she has the models and it's going to be a better video. I know that. So, I think that's all I have to share today. So I've got some plans. I'm going to keep stitching on things and hopefully have some more finishes in the next couple of weeks. And so I will come back when I am able to do another update. But this is about 30 minutes, which is about where I want my videos to be. So I will insert that. I'm also gonna I'm gonna go film a little video of some of the extra projects that I've been doing over the last couple weeks, because I was a little bit excited about them. So for Valentine's Day, I went over to my friend's house. My husband Scott works at Papa John's Pizza. He is a manager for one of their stores, and Valentine's Day is one of his busiest days of the year. I don't know why. I presume it's because people buy pizza, like go out to dinner and they buy pizza for their kids. I don't know. But it has always been one of his busiest days, and so we never make plans for Valentine's Day. I know that he's busy, and so we just do it another night. Valentine's Day isn't that important to me. But my friend invited me over. She had a little girls' night. We had some really good food, good company, and then we did floral arranging. My flowers still look really pretty from that, and so I will show you those in the video. I also, in my normal videos, you'll notice that there are a ton of plants behind me. I love houseplants, both out in my office and here at home. I have a ton of plants, and I saw somewhere someone took some pothos vines and they made a wreath out of them. And so you propagate them in some water and then you put them on a wreath form, and they will theoretically continue to grow, and eventually that wreath will be all filled up. I got obsessed with it, and so one weekend I sat down and made a couple of pothos wreaths. I'm waiting to make sure that they are actually going to root before I make more, but I want to make a bigger one to hang on my office door if I can get them rooted. But I will show you those. And then last weekend, my friends and I went to a mosaic tiling class, and we made some mosaic lamps. Maybe I won't do a video. Maybe I'll just insert some pictures at the end. But we made this really pretty lamp. My lamp still needs to be grouted. So you glue on the little mosaic tiles. They give you all the tiles and the supplies, and you glue them onto your lampshade. And then you have to let that glue dry before you can grout it. So we weren't able to grout in the class, and so they give you everything to go home and do that. And so I still need to do that, but I will show you what I have now. I think it's really pretty and I'm pretty proud of it. Excuse me. That is a class that I would do again. So, but I also saw, like, once you do the class, it's pretty self-explanatory how to do it, and they do sell kits. So if anybody's interested, I can share the details of those, because they came out of Florida. We did the class in Atlanta, but I know that they go to some of the other states. I think they had a class in Birmingham, and so if you're really interested, I can share those details, but it was fun. That's really it. So the dogs are waking up, so I'm gonna go let them out, and then I gotta go to the airport to pick up Mom. So I hope everybody's well, and I will come back when I'm back. Until then, everybody be safe and well, and I'll talk to you then.